Welcome back to another Conductor video. I'm your host, ThemeParkConductor, and today we have breaking news that just came out of the Walt Disney Company. The next CEO, which we all anticipated, is none other than Josh D'Amaro. We have, in our content space, have been talking about this for a very, very long time. And a lot of news has come out from the Walt Disney Company and other sources throughout the last couple weeks, with Iger saying that he's going to step down before his contract ends in December 31st of 2026. Then we saw some shakeup with new people being incorporated in the different roles of the Walt Disney Company. We've seen a lot of moves happening at Lucasfilms. And we just had a quarterly earnings call where me and Hollow Gelato live streamed that earnings call, gave our opinions. But Josh D'Amaro named as the next CEO. Absolutely incredible. And before I continue, if you guys notice behind me, I'm not in my home studio. We're having some work done upstairs. So I have guys up and down coming from upstairs to downstairs, working upstairs. So that's why I'm down here. But I want to thank you all for joining today. And we're going to read an article that has been released on February the 3rd as of this recording from the Walt Disney Company themselves. And we're going to read it, and we're going to see what it says. But I'm not surprised by this situation. I'm not surprised D'Amaro was named CEO to succeed Bob Iger. It's funny in a way because we've been seeing pictures for the last probably year and a half of D'Amaro literally following Iger. So if Iger goes to Shanghai Disney, if he's gone to Abu Dhabi, he's gone to Disneyland Paris, usually D'Amaro was by his side. Or if they were walking around the Disneyland Resort at DCA, those two were always together. So I kind of had my suspicions at that moment in time that he was going to be named the CEO. And actually, in the surprising twist that Dana Walden is taking over the president's role, which we all know was that position was eliminated back in either 2020 or 2021 by Bob Chapek, who took over for Iger, and that whole debacle got jacked up. So Iger returned, and now he's leaving again. Hopefully for good this time. Hopefully Josh can do his basically do proper things, do amazing things for the Walt Disney Company and keep the magic alive. I know there are some people who kind of have their doubts. One of those people, a great friend, I consider him just an absolute modern day Walt Disney himself, just the way he thinks, the way he just processes things, the way he breaks stuff down in his content. It's absolutely incredible. We had Hey Bricky on this current edition of Conductor Sunday live stream, so I definitely encourage you to go check that out. We had him, we had Orange Grove 55, and we had Tommy Toon World. It was an absolute amazing conversation. But one of the things Bricky was hinting to before we read this article was, if Josh D'Amaro becomes the new CEO, which, again, it is official, he is the new CEO, and Dana Walden isn't, could Dana Walden leave the company? And there's many other studios like Comcast, you got Warner Brothers, you got Netflix, Netflix, Warner Brothers, you got Paramount, you got all these other studios that can scoop her up. But it seems like Iger had a plan for that and appointed her the president's role that, again, was previously eliminated by Bob Chapek. So I don't think she's going anywhere anytime soon, but who knows? Hopefully that's not the case. We'll have to wait and see and go from there. But I do find it quite interesting that happened. But as he was saying, was that if Tomorrow is named CEO, who's going to take over his spots for park and experiences? And then is that going to suffer? Because with Tomorrow being the CEO, um, his role is much broader than being the park's chairman and experiences. So it's kind of going to be a ripple effect, but hopefully they have plans for that. Because the last thing I want to see is Iger come back for a third time. That wouldn't be too good. That would leave a very black mark on the company. I don't think the company needs that. But again, this article is from the Walt Disney Company and themselves. It says Josh Tomorrow named next chief executive officer of the Walt Disney Company. It says Dana Walden to become president and chief creative officer of the Walt Disney Company. So she's going to be the CCO of the company. The Walt Disney Company board of directors announced today that in a unanimous vote held on Monday, they already knew weeks ahead. Come on, they're not fooling anybody. It elected Disney Experiences chairman Josh D'Amaro to become chief executive officer of the Walt Disney Company. Effective at the upcoming annual meeting on March 18th, when he will succeed a longtime Disney CEO Robert A. Iger. The board also intends to appoint Tomorrow as a director immediately following that meeting as head of the company's largest business segment with $36 billion in annual revenue in the financial year of 2025 and 185,000 cast members and employees worldwide. Tomorrow, a 28-year Disney veteran, is the architect of the largest global expansion in Disney Experiences history and has led the segment to the new heights financially, creatively, and guest satisfaction. So basically what they're stating at is we're going to have 13 ships for the Disney Cruise Line. The Disney company that you guys probably all saw in the last couple of weeks with Iger walking on the beaches of Abu Dhabi. There's going to be a brand new state-of-the-art theme park. Disneyland Paris is having their expansion open in March. Then you have a possible announcement at this year's D23 for Shanghai Disney to get a massive, massive expansion. We see everything happening at the Walt Disney World, which again, I'm going to be there in March to experience that. With Tropical Americas, the Cars Land, Villains Land, everything they're doing. Then, at home base, Walt's original Magic Kingdom at DCA, we're seeing the two Avengers attractions go in. We're seeing the new Eastern Gateway parking structure going to be starting to be built, hopefully pretty soon. We have Avatar coming, Coco coming, and much, much more. There was just an announcement the other day about the nonprofit buses that take guests from the Toy Story parking lot to the Esplanade, where the gates for DCA and Disneyland are at. They are going to stop bringing guests back and forth starting April the 1st. So the last day of operation for that is March the 31st. So a lot of moving parts happening, and then the whole shakeup at Lucasfilm as well. So there's so much happening. But going back to the article, it says Josh D'Amaro poses that rare combination of inspiring leadership and innovation, a key eye for strategy, growth, and opportunities, and a deep passion for the Disney brand and its people, all which make him the right person to take the helm as Disney's next CEO. Crazy. I'm still trying to process that, said James Gorman, chairman of the Walt Disney Company board of directors. Throughout the search process, Josh has demonstrated a strong vision for the company's future and a deep understanding and creativity spirit that makes Disney unique in every changing marketplace. Now, again, I do have to say I wish all the best to Josh tomorrow as the next CEO, but people do have their doubts, and I understand those doubts. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But going back, it says he has an outstanding record of business achievement, collaborating with some of the biggest names in entertainment to bring their stories to life in our parks, showcasing the power of combining Disney storytelling with cutting-edge technology. The board believes he is exceptionally well prepared to guide this global company forward to serve our consumers and the world and create long-term value for shareholders. So when they say consumers, I'm going to kind of push back on that because I've been saying it recently for the last couple of weeks, even during the live stream and videos I've done recently. I don't consider us consumers. I consider us shareholders and investors. That's how I, anticipate it. Because think about it. We're, we're buying the merch, we're buying the food, we're buying magic keys, we're paying for experiences. All these things come into play. So what I get it from the business term, they say consumers, but I'm going to go kind of more elite and say it's going to be we are investors for the Walt Disney Company. So I just want to make that quite clear. It says Josh D'Amaro is an exceptional leader and the right person to become our next CEO, said Robert A. Iger, CEO of the Walt Disney Company. He has instinctively appreciation of the Disney brand and a deep understanding of what resonates with our audience. Paired with the rigor and attention to detail required to deliver some of our most ambitious projects. His ability to combine creativity with the operational excellence is extraordinary, and I'm thrilled for Josh and the company. Concurrent with Josh D'Amaro's appointment, Dana Walden, co-chairman of the Disney Entertainment, has been named president and chief creative officer of the Walt Disney Company. So in a way, it's interesting because we've explored all options about possible dual CEO-ship, which the company started with that with Walt and Roy. Then you had sorry. You had Wells and you had Eisner. So it is possible. But this is as close we're going to get to a dual CEO. So I'm kind of thrilled to find out, what's going to happen with that. But it says his ability to combine creativity with operation. Or no, I'm sorry. So sorry. Because I think I just read that. Okay. Okay. It says also effective March 18th. As a co-chairman of the Disney Entertainment, Walden has led Disney's World re-owned award-winning entertainment media, news, and content businesses globally, including Disney's streaming businesses. In this role, a historic first for the enterprise, Walden will reportedly direct to D'Amaro and will ensure that storytelling and creativity expression across every audience touch point consistently reflect the brand and engage audiences at a scale and advance core business objectives while driving enterprises wide incentives and translating visions into actions. There's a lot of business terminology, but it says Dana Walden is an excellent leader who commands tremendous respect for the creativity community, continued Iger. Given that creativity is at the heart of everything Disney does, she is a wonderful choice to serve in this new leadership role. In the years since Dana joined Disney, she has accumulated great knowledge about the many facts of our business and brands, and is very well prepared to be president and chief creative officer. And if many of you probably don't know by now, which most of you do, if not everybody does, Dana Walden actually came to Disney due to the Fox merger with Disney when Iger bought 21st Century Fox. So that's where Dana Walden came from, just so there's clarification on that. It says Bob Iger has provided extensive mentorship to the internal candidates throughout the succession plan process, and upon transition will continue to serve as senior advisor and a member of the Disney board until his retirement for the second time from the company on December 31st, 2026. It says Iger has led Disney to unprecedented creativity and businesses success during his nearly 2 decades leading the company. Since his return in 2022, he has spearheaded a strategic transformation of the company, guiding Disney through a period of significant industry disruption, positioning it for long-term growth in the new era of entertainment. Again, I could go on and go off the rails here and say, tomorrow, did some stuff we don't agree with, but I'm just going to leave that alone for this. But continuing, it says, as part of this transformation, Iger moved quickly to restructure the organization and empower creative leaders and restore financial discipline, establishing for strategic priorities, strengthening the quality and economic output of the film studio, which we kind of all know Hollywood's going through a massive shakeup, and the Disney studio side of things hasn't been the greatest since, for a little while. So hopefully we'll see changes with that. Delivering a sustained profitability in streaming, positioning ESPN as a premier digital destination for sports fans, and turbocharging a growth across Disney experiences today. Disney is more agile and more resilient, and tomorrow will take the helm of the company that is in a vast, stronger position than it was 3 years ago. And I couldn't agree more on that. And here's a picture of Dana Walden and Josh D'Amaro. Let's see. It says, I am immensely grateful to the board for enthusiasming me with leading a company that means so much to me and millions across the world, said Josh D'Amaro, incoming CEO of the Walt Disney Company. Disney's strength has always come for our people and creativity excellence that defines our stories and experiences. There is no limit to what Disney can achieve, and I'm excited to work with our teams across the company and brilliant creative partners to honor Disney's remarkable legacy while continuing to innovate, grow, and deliver exceptional value for our customers and shareholders. Again, not customers, consumers. I'm going to replace consumers with the word investors and shareholders. I also want to express my gratitude to Bob Iger for his generous mentorship, his friendship, and profound impact of his leadership. And then it says, on behalf of the entire board, we extend our deepest gratitude to Bob Iger for his extraordinary leadership and dedication to the Walt Disney Company, continued Gorman. The board asked Bob to return as CEO in 2022 for two critical reasons. First, to lead the company through the challenging transition and ensure Disney was fit for the proposed for the future. Second, to strengthen the leadership bench and to help develop candidates for the CEO transition. Bob has delivered on both priorities while also guiding Disney through a transformative period with an ambitious strategy that has further strengthened its position as the world's premier entertainment company. After nearly 2 decades leading Disney, the Iger era has been defined by enormous growth. Again, people would have different opinions about that one, especially his return, but that's besides the point. And committed to excellence in creativity and innovation, and these technical terms are getting me like crazy. Exemplary stewardship of this iconic situation. Now we're going to read a little bit about Josh D'Amaro. Josh D'Amaro, even though it doesn't say Josh, it says D'Amaro 54 has served as the chairman of Disney Experiences segment since 2020. And prior to that was president of the Walt Disney World Resort. He joined the company in 1998 at Disneyland Resort. As chairman of Disney Experiences, D'Amaro oversees 12 theme parks and 57 resort hotels worldwide. With plans for a new park in Abu Dhabi, his responsibilities included Disney signature experiences, including Disney Cruise Line, Disney Vacation Club, Adventures by Disney, Disney Institute, and Story Living by Disney, as well as overseeing Walt Disney Imagineering and Disney Consumer Products. He also manages digital virtues, including the collaboration with Epic Games to create a Disney universe with Fortnite. D'Amaro has been instrumental in expanding Disney's iconic franchises throughout the creation of immersion, story-driven experiences at Disney, Disney's theme parks such as Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, the Marvel-themed Avengers Campus, Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, and World of Frozen. Building on his momentum, upcoming projects include the development of a Monsters, Inc. themed land at Disney's Hollywood Studios at Walt Disney World, a new Avatar destination at the Disneyland Resort. Again, they still don't want to call it a land. They're still holding on to that destination. It drives me nuts. Expansive new areas inspired by Cars and Disney villains as part of the largest ever expansion of the Magic Kingdom. Over his nearly 3-decade career at Disney, he has held leadership roles across the company, both in the U.S. and internationally, including in finance, business strategy, marketing, creative development, and operations. His past positions include president of Disneyland Resort, president of Walt Disney World. D'Amaro earned a bachelor's degree in business administration from Georgetown University. I'm incredibly proud to step away at a moment when Disney's future has never been brighter. Continued from Iger. I'm confident Disney will continue to innovate and put the spirit of Walt at the heart of everything it does, from its new park in Abu Dhabi to groundbreaking partnerships just announced with OpenAI and the NFL to the countless upcoming creative projects that will uh, uh, um, enthrall audiences across the world. Disney has shaped who I am as a leader, and I will always be grateful to this extraordinary company for the opportunity to lead it over the years. And now it goes to succession plans. It says tomorrow election as CEO caps a through an extensive succession plan process. In January 2023, the board of directors from a special succession plan committee to support the board in planning for a transition of leadership that aligns with the company's long-term strategic goals. At the direction of the board, the committee and the full board undertook a deliberate multi-year succession plan process, meeting regularly to evaluate internal and external candidates, transition structures, and organizational frameworks, and planning for the potential impacts of succession decisions across the company. The committee is led by Gorman as chair since 2024, with directors Mary T. Abera, Jeremy Darch, and Calvin R. McDonald also currently serving as members, all who have directed experience in CEO and senior leadership succession planning for Fortune 500 companies. DeMarle and Walden underwent a rigorous preparation process, including extensive mentorship from Iger, external coaching, and direct engagement with all directors. It says, experienced senior management. DeMarle will be supported by a team of senior executives who have worked seamlessly together for several years at Disney to experience Vance Iger and the board's creative, financial, and reputational goals. The company's senior leadership team brings dedicates of experiences with a proven ability to navigate periods of change while delivering strong business outcomes. The company is fortunate to have Disney Entertainment co-chairman Alan Bergman and ESPN chairman James Peter Arto continuing in their critical leaderships roles, working with DeMarle and Walden. Additionally, supporting the new CEO is an exceptional team of executive officers. The leaders have overseen major strategic transformation, expanding by key features, and driven performance across multiple business cycles. Their deep institutional knowledge and operational discipline and collaborative culture provide a strong foundation for continued momentum, promoting continuously stability and clear execution as the company enters its next chapter under DeMarle's leadership. And then there was a forward-looking statements, because we all know with the shareholders meeting, DeMarle will be asked questions. So I'm looking very forward to that shareholders meeting. It says forward-looking statements. Certain statements in this press release may constitute forward-looking statements with the meaning of the Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995, including statements regarding our expectations, benefits, corporate plans, future prospects, and other statements that are non-historical in nature And any information that is not historical in nature is subject to change. These statements are made and on the basis of our views and assumptions regarding future events as the time the statement are made. We do not undertake any obligation to update these statements. Actually, results may differ materially from these expressed or implemented. Such such differences may result from actions taken by the company and developments beyond the company's control. Additional factors are set forth in the company's most recent annual report on Form 10-K, subsequent quarterly reports on Form 10-Q, and subsequent filings with the Securities and the Exchange Commission. So, very interesting article to read. Again, that article is currently online on the Walt Disney's Company website. But I'm hoping all the best, literally all the best from tomorrow, and I really hope he does well for the company. I know, like I said right at the beginning before we read the article, there's many concerns because now you're taking a parks chairman that's been in the parks kind of realm of the company almost his entire career, and now he's going to be the CEO, the chief executive officer, and he's not just going to have to deal with the parks. He's going to have to deal with everything. I mean, the studio side, the finances, the negotiations, answering to the board, answering to the shareholders, all sorts of stuff. And I mean, all sorts of stuff. So I really hope him the best. Um, to be honest with you, I really don't want to see Iger come back a third time. I don't think the board wants to see that. I don't think anybody in their right mind wants to see that. But I'm hoping going forward there are some concerns. I hope Josh does address. Just to name a few off is the reservation system at the Disneyland Resort. I know there's reasons why they want to implement that. Hopefully, in due time with all these expansions happening at DCA, happening at the Disneyland Resort in general, the reservation system not, might not be enforced too much. Kind of go on the basis of what Walt Disney World is with the reservation system. I'm kind of hoping as well, and me and Hollow Gelato talked about this on past live streams, was making it a lot easier to buy D23 tickets for all of us deep-hearted fans. So I'm hoping that's the case. Then there's other issues as well. The virtual queue system, because as many of you probably know, I will be at Disneyland on February the 5th and February the 6th. But February the 5th, they are doing a virtual queue system for these Magic Key Madniks. And they're going to have photo ops and characters in the little courtyard area next to the Hyperion building. So that's going to be interesting. But we've had virtual queues for other things as well. Do I really think we need virtual queues? Probably not. But that's just my personal opinion. But I can go on for another 30 minutes naming all the things that tomorrow could fix that we would love. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Tomorrow's going to take over as CEO in mid-March. And literally that's going to be kind of towards the end of my trip at Walt Disney World. So that's going to be interesting as well. And we'll just have to wait and see what happens tomorrow. I don't know what it is. This guy, he loves being in front of cameras. This guy has no problem walking down Main Street and just mobs of people just, wanting to get a picture with them, talk to them. So that's amazing. I've asked this question just recently. with all the changes happening at Galaxy's Edge with the original trilogy characters being incorporated in the Galaxy's Edge, was that something that Iger made that choice with? Or was it maybe Josh Tomorrow as one of his early acts to, kind of see what he would do as CEO? The board and Iger probably stepped back and said, hey, you know, make a decision. Let's see what you got as a pre-trial or a pretext on what he would do as CEO. And obviously, again, I can't confirm if it was Iger, if it was the board, or it was tomorrow, the upcoming new CEO that made that choice. But regardless, I think it's a great choice. Do I think it's a little bit late to make that choice? I do. I do. But at least they made the choice. So that's going to be very interesting. But I want to thank everybody for joining today's video, and stay tuned because this is not the last time I'm going to be talking about this. I got a video I'm going to be doing with George. I think it's either going to be a video or a live stream. I'm not sure, but definitely stay tuned for Hollow Gelato. Then I'm going to be on Orange Grove 55 talking about this as well. That will be a video, so definitely stay tuned for that. And then if you see me in the parks on February the 5th or February the 6th, I encourage you to come say hello. Please come say hello. Talk to me for a couple minutes. Grab a picture with me. I don't mind. I don't bite. I'm going to be honest with you. I love it. Bricky, that's one thing Bricky told me during the live stream. He's like, I can't tell you how many times I walk into Disneyland and I feel like he didn't say this, but I'm going to implement this part. It's almost like I feel like tomorrow. I walk in, I just get tons of people because they watch my content. Tons of people are coming up to me, talking to me, taking pictures, and I love it. I absolutely love it, and that's coming from Bricky, except for the tomorrow part. But if you do see me in the parks, please come say hello. I would absolutely enjoy that. I would love it. I would enjoy it. But again, have a wonderful day, everybody. This is breaking news, history in the making, and I cannot wait to see more decisions coming from Josh tomorrow and his new administration as they lead the Walt Disney Company into the next step into the future. And my gosh, I'm going to be all here for it. But everybody, have a wonderful day. I will see you guys very, very soon.